You have not come to a mountain that can be touched and that is burning with fire, to darkness, gloom, and storm, to a trumpet blast, or to such a voice speaking words that those who heard it begged that no further word be spoken to them, because they could not bear what was commanded. If even an animal touches the mountain, it must be stoned to death. The sight was so terrifying that Moses said, I am trembling with fear. But you have come to Mount Zion, to the city of the living God, the heavenly Jerusalem. You have come to thousands upon thousands of angels in joyful assembly, to the church of the firstborn, whose names are written in heaven. You have come to God, the judge of all, to the spirits of the righteous made perfect, to Jesus, the mediator of a new covenant, and to the sprinkled blood that speaks a better word than the blood of Abel.
Our reading really, it's a story of two mountains, Mount Sinai and Mount Zion. On Mount Sinai, only Moses, Joshua, Aaron, and the elders were allowed on the mountain, and even then only when God told them. Anyone else had to be put to death. The people were scared of hearing God's voice on the mountain, and they asked Moses to be an intermediary and relay what God said back to them, because they believed that they would die if they heard God's voice. When Moses came down the mountain, he was radiant, and that scared them too. This was the mountain where God gave Moses the laws, not just the Ten Commandments, but all the laws in Exodus concerning personal justice, cleanliness, priestly robes, the Ark of the Covenant, and the tabernacle, and all the other ceremonial things. So many laws, it took Moses 40 days to hear them all. This was the old covenant which brought condemnation, because nobody could keep it. In Galatians 4, Paul calls the Sinai covenant the covenant of slavery. And then the passage talks about Mount Zion, which is the mountain of the new covenant that gives life, the covenant of the promise that brings freedom. Back to Galatians 4. We can ascend this mountain and live there. Psalm 15 says, who may live on your holy mountain? He whose walk is blameless. Through Jesus, we're made blameless. Ezekiel 14 says that on God's holy mountain, all the people of Israel will serve him and he will accept them. Moses had to go up and down Mount Sinai 5 times. We're in God's presence forever. Verse 23 describes Mount Zion as the church of the firstborn, those whose names are written in heaven. On Mount Sinai, after the people had worshipped the golden calf, Moses asked God to blot his name out of his book. But God said he would blot out the names of those who had sinned. Because we're made righteous, our names are written in heaven forever. And finally, the passage talks about the blood of Abel that speaks a better word, the blood that speaks a better word than the blood of Abel. What's that about? Abel's blood condemned Cain and prevented the ground from producing crops for him. Jesus' blood rescues us from condemnation, makes us part of Christ's harvest, and enables us to bear fruit for him.